Good morning, cheers, and welcome back to Dreaming Maxi Style. I am Robin, and we have a trip announcement today, so let's get into it. I'm so excited. All right, so let's get into it. So we are going to Walt Disney World. We are going to our very first Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. We are taking my stepkids for the first time, and I am elated. We didn't think this was going to happen for a couple of more years, and due to just schedule stuff, this ended up working out to be our family vacation and the kids' birthday gift, and we are just so excited to be doing this. Now, we're not doing what I would call a normal trip. It's very irregular, very different from anything Jeffrey and I have ever done. And we've been a good half dozen to dozen times now. So let me start by kind of breaking it down. We're going to talk about airfare, we're going to talk about the hotel, we're going to talk about what we're actually doing, and then we're going to talk about restaurants. So let's start with airfare. So if you guys watched our We Canceled Our Disney Trip video, you'll know that back at the end of June, we had to cancel a Disneyland trip for Jeffrey and I, which was sad. But better things came along the way, and we knew this trip was coming. So anyway, so for that flight, for that situation, we were gonna fly United, round trip. I really like United. I've always really liked United. I've lived in California, Texas, and Colorado, and for me, United has always been a very stable airline. When I lived in Texas, it was Continental, and Continental and United merged several years back, but I was a Continental girly and I loved it. And a dear friend of mine, her dad flew for Continental, and so I've always really enjoyed Continental. And so when United purchased Continental, I became a United girly. And I kind of was when I lived in California as well. When I would travel places, I actually traveled United. With my family, we always traveled Southwest. So anyway, long story short, we are flying with United out to Orlando. That's not who we're flying back with though. So we had a conversation with the kids, Jeffrey and I had a conversation. We are going for 4 nights. It's 4 nights, 5 days. And we just kind of had the discussion, like, can we do this in a carry-on? Absolutely. Are we taking stuff with us so that if we have to check anything on the way home, we can? 100%. That's just the way you do it, especially when you're doing Disney. So we are out on the first flight in the morning with United. So 6 a.m. flight. It is going to be a brutal morning. But the kids both said that they would rather do an early flight and then have the day than do a later flight. So we are flying out on United on their 6 a.m. flight, which will be great. We're all sitting across from each other. I like to usually sit about midway, like by the wing. Unfortunately, we are not doing that. We are towards the back of the plane, but it is what it is. We're all on the same flight. We all get to have a carry-on bag as well as our personal item, and we are we're happy-dory with that. So it'll be great. On the way back though, we are flying Southwest. So check bag galore. Yes. I actually found these really awesome 20-inch duffels, and so we can put our hard suitcases under the plane, and we have these 20-inch duffels that collapse almost to the size of a book, and we can put those in our backpacks and take those with us as well, so that if we need them at the end of the trip, we absolutely have them. I have never really been a proponent of doing a split flight. I've always felt like doing a round trip was better. Price-wise, this saved us probably $300. So The numbers don't lie, people. I have become a lot more financially aware in the last couple of months about, you know, is it really worth it? Can we make it work? And I am Little Miss Travel Agent, so I feel like I can make it work. And we've already pre-discussed issues that could happen on Southwest, especially if we're in a B group, because I'm not paying for the upgrade. And so yeah, so we are flying out on United, we are flying back on Southwest. We are flying back at, I think our flight's like at 11 or 11:40 in the morning, which is a new thing for me. I usually leave Orlando in the late afternoon, evening, but it is August. It is storm season. There are always possibilities. And so I feel like leaving early in the day will be great for us. So I'm really, really excited. Okay. So let's talk about hotel. So we had quite a few options going into this. If you know anything about Walt Disney World, they're not shy of hotels. So it was very, very, we had a good variety. We could have gone with renting DVC points and staying at a deluxe, doing a 1-bedroom or doing a deluxe studio that slept 5. We could have done the All-Star Music family suite, which sleeps 6. The table and the couch in the living room actually fold out into beds, queen size beds. And then you have a whole separate room, you have a full kitchen, you have 2 bathrooms. It's actually a very nice setup. Unfortunately, they were sold out. We stayed there 2 years ago with my friend Melissa, and it was a great room, and it's definitely one I would take the kids to. The theming of the hotel is good. It's not the greatest. It's a value resort. We did look into Art of Animation. Unfortunately, when they did their renovations, they kept the sofa beds, and we didn't really feel like that was the best bang for our buck. So we did go with a moderate. We were going back and forth between Caribbean Beach and Port Orleans Riverside. So these both have 5 sleeper rooms. Caribbean Beach has been a lot in the news a lot because they just redid theirs to Ariel or Little Mermaid themed. But Jeffrey and I have stayed at Caribbean Beach 3 times now. We do love Caribbean Beach. They are doing some refurbishments on the pools, so ding ding ding, you better believe it, we went with Port Orleans Riverside. The only thing we had to say to the kids is that we were 5 minutes from beignets, and they're like, yep, we want to go there. So we are staying in a 5 sleeper room, woods view, at Port Orleans Riverside. Now, Port Orleans Riverside and Caribbean Beach are huge properties. I have been to Port Orleans Riverside before. I accidentally got off the Disney Springs boat at the wrong hotel when we were searching for beignets. So I have technically been there before. And through the gift shop, I actually found something I loved in the gift shop and bought it. But yeah, so we are staying there. We are super excited. I think we were watching videos of the pools, of the pool slide and stuff, and I was like, okay, I think I can do that. I don't know how much we touched on it in our last video, but when Jeffrey and I were there in February and we went to, we stayed at Yacht Club and we went to Stormalong Bay, we went down the water slide and it hurt. It was incredibly painful. When we went down the slide at Caribbean Beach, it was not painful at all. So this is, you know, hoping for not painful. But both of my kids love water slides, so I'm really excited for that. So that is our hotel information. So I'm hoping when we check in, we'll be able to get right into a room. I've been checking the website and they still have our room available, so I'm thinking that is going for the day before and all that, because I did almost think about booking the day before and then us just arriving the next day. That way we know we arrive at like 10 a.m. and we get straight to a room. So I did consider doing that, but knowing that they still have them available makes me feel like we'll be okay. Because when you have that early of a flight, you want to get into your room as soon as possible. So anyway, yeah, so Port Orleans Riverside, I'm so excited. The food menu looks amazing. We're so close to beignets. The property looks beautiful. I'm very, very excited to see where on the property we are gonna be. All right, so let's talk about what we're doing. So it is definitely a hodgepodge of what we are doing at Walt Disney World. The normal situation when Jeffrey and I go is we are there. We are either one park per ticket, we're there for like 4 or 5 days, or we are park hopping for like 3 or 4 days, or 2 days, and that is our usual. So this is why this trip is different. So number one, we're going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and I'm so excited. We were going to do a family costume. My stepson is not very much into that. I can get him to bound a little bit, but I also don't want to push. So I'm not pushing this trip. So my stepdaughter is going to go as Cinderella. I am going to bound as a Disney firework. I have some really amazing ears and then earrings, and it's just going to be fun, and I hope it's going to come through well. My husband is going to bound as Woody because Woody is literally his favorite character. And I have no idea what my stepson's going to do yet, but I'll get more into that later. So we are obviously going there, but that's not the first thing that we're doing. So we arrive on a Saturday, and the first thing we're doing is we're actually going to the Typhoon Lagoon after hours party, H2O Glow, and I'm so excited. I've never been to a Disney water park, and I am really excited for it. My stepson loves wave pools, and my stepdaughter is like an adventure seeker and loves all things rides, so they are both really excited for this. This was an add-on that we did specific for my stepson, because it's something that is just so random of us. We have a water park here in Colorado called Water World. We go there once a year. I have been there twice this summer, and that's far too much for me, especially with knowing that we have Typhoon Lagoon coming up. And that's okay. It's absolutely okay. But yeah, so it's gonna be good. I don't know very much about Typhoon Lagoon, so I am sure as we get a little bit closer and as the video from Typhoon Lagoon comes out, you guys will get to learn more about it, as I will have learned more about it. So that is actually going to be our first night. That is why we had to do the early flight. That is why it is so important we get into our room early and the kids can rest and we can rest, because I'm not necessarily as worried about my 10-year-old and 16-year-old as I am worried about my husband and me. But even with that being said, I think it's gonna be an amazing night. The park is open from 6 to midnight, 6 p.m. to midnight. It closes to the general public at 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. to midnight is really the after hours party, but we get in at 6, which will be so nice because it'll kind of give us a little bit of like buffer time between landing and getting in the hotel and maybe going in the pool and getting ready for some water fun. So that is our first night. Sunday, which is our second, or is basically our entire full day, it's a resort day. So everybody gets to sleep in, everybody gets to kind of have a mellow day. We do have a dining reservation, which I'll talk about in the next bit. But that's really it. We have one dining reservation, and we did talk to the kids about going to Disney Springs, obviously getting beignets if we didn't get them on Saturday already, which knowing my children, we will. Knowing my husband, we will. And so that's gonna be really exciting. And that's kind of it for Sunday. Sunday does need to be an early to bed because Monday is my husband and my stepson's birthday, and we are doing a 1-day park hopper. So we are park hopping. The initial hope is to park hop all four parks, including Magic Kingdom, which I had some ifs about doing. But at this point in time, both of the kids had said yes, they do want to go into Magic Kingdom that day. And they want to do different things, which is totally fine. So we'll just kind of have to split things up a little bit. And of course, I'll have to take a ride on the People Mover. It wouldn't be a trip to Magic Kingdom if you're not on the People Mover. So, and we have a dining reservation in the middle of all of that as well. Plus, we will be trying out the new Lightning Lane multi-pass system that Disney just released the other day. It looks very confusing and yet simple. I never got to go to Walt Disney World before pandemic. I never had the opportunity. And from what I've heard from some people, it feels like it's taking it back to that, which is a plus. So I'm very, very interested to see how this will work. So that takes us to Monday. Then we have Tuesday, which is the day of our party. And we are going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party on a Tuesday. I am so excited. As I said, my stepdaughter is bounding the Cinderella. I'm going as a Disney firework. My husband will be going as Woody, and my stepson will be Mystery. As of the moment, it's a mystery. I was trying to get him to be Anger from from Inside Out, and he was like, "I'm not angry," and I was like, okay. So we're gonna work with him a little bit. He will be bounding, it will be just colors, but the most important thing, and this is the most important thing that we've been going with for this entire trip, we will all be comfortable. Comfortability is the number one when you go in August, when it will rain and it will be humid and the sun is beating down on you and everything else. So that is 100% for sure. So the excitement is coming. And then the next day we fly home. So we've got Typhoon Lagoon, a resort day, a full day in the parks with park hopping, and a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So I'm not saying that it's not a normal Disney trip. I'm just saying it's not how we normally do it. And I'm so excited for it. The special events, Jeffrey and I have only ever been to one special event, and it was Sweethearts Night at Disneyland. And so I'm very excited to do this in Walt Disney World. I'm so excited to do a water park. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. Sorry about that. I needed a little bit more coffee. All right, so the last thing we're gonna talk about is dining reservations. So as of right now, I do have a couple of dining reservations. I was able to snag an Ohana breakfast. I'm so excited. My stepdaughter loves Stitch. Once upon a time, my stepson loves Stitch. And I am so excited to get to take them to there. Some of the food is stuff that my stepson really enjoys. My stepdaughter is a very picky eater, but it has things that she will eat and enjoy, and I'm very thankful for it. So that is the first place that we are going. That is actually going to be on our resort day, so on the Sunday. On the Monday, which is my husband and my stepson's birthday, we have a reservation for Via Napoli, which I'm really excited about. I've heard so many good things. For a long time, I did not have pizza eaters in my home. My stepson wouldn't touch pizza. My stepdaughter loved it, but she goes back and forth between what she likes, cheese or pepperoni. I told you, picky eater. So Anyway, so I am so excited. It's one of the places my husband really wanted to try when we were there in February, and we could not get a reservation. So I'm very, very excited for this. It's gonna be great. And at this point, those are our only 2 reservations. Now, we did have a Topolino's reservation, and we did have a Chef Art Smith's reservation, which I had to sadly let go. Because when we got the Ohana for breakfast, we very quickly realized that this was the one that we needed to go to enjoy with the kids, just because I love Topolino's. I think Topolino's is your one and only adult character breakfast because, number one, you're getting such premium food at Topolino's. Topolino's is just a beautiful restaurant. I do feel like some of the options for adult kids, which you know what I'm talking about, parents out there, it's any kid who is over the age of 9. I don't necessarily think it works to their palate for the price point. So we did have to cancel that, and then our Ohana's is at like noon. So it is one of the last time slotted reservations. So because of that, we had to let go of our Art Smith Homecoming reservation, which is very sad for us because I was very excited to take the kids to Art Smith's, especially my stepson. He's gotten so adventurous with food in the last couple of years, and so it's such a pleasure taking him to restaurants now to see what he tries. I'm a pretty adventurous eater. My husband sometimes not, but my husband and my stepson and my stepdaughter, at the age my stepdaughter is, we're not adventurous eaters at all. This is something that has only happened with my stepson in the last couple of years, so it's very, very, very exciting. Anyway, those are our food reservations, and I'm excited. I am gonna still try and get one for the morning of our Halloween party. I would really love to have a sit-down meal that day. But, and this is the thing I have to keep telling myself, is our quick service looks absolutely amazing, and by doing sit-down meals, I am just depriving us from eating there, especially considering one of them is on a resort day. So there you go. All right, everybody, so that is our upcoming trip. We are so excited. Typhoon Lagoon, a full day of park hopping, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, a couple of different sit-down restaurants, an amazing hotel to be able to walk around and review, and to see how the 5 sleepers actually are for us as a family, because there's always more trips in the future, and there's always more adventures in the future, and so we need to figure out what works for us as a family. It's an incredibly important thing. If you have a family, you completely understand. If you go with friends, you understand, because you want everybody to be comfortable. So this is going to be such an exciting trip for us. So this is the first video in the series. The next video will actually be a packing video, kind of showing how we packed for my stepson, how we packed for my stepdaughter, kind of some of the new items that we're taking along on this trip, and some of the little extras for fun that we're going to be doing as well. I'm so excited for this trip. I can't wait to share it with all of you. Normally we do Disneyland with my stepkids, and it's usually just Jeffrey and I, or Jeffrey and I and a friend at Walt Disney World, and this time it is the 4 of us, and talk about something magical for our family. This is one of the ways we make memories, is by going on adventures, going on trips, and I am so excited for this one. So the next video you will see out is packing and prepping and some helpful little items for everybody in your group, and we will see you then. Have a great day and keep dreaming. Bye. In case not see the hawk anymore, but the hawk was like right over there, and I don't know if you can even hear the hawk, but that's what I was like kept looking at the entire time I was videoing, was trying to make sure that this hawk did not get the squirrel. Between this tree, these two trees, and then our